Then I will intro it. Oh, broadcast is live.
I had to log back into Facebook because of you guys.
Well, they just did their update, and now it looks like it's all cool. It doesn't look like Facebook from like 12 years ago anymore.
No,
yeah, right.
Okay, Facebook is just filled with hate speech from.
I know it's okay.
People.
I just shared it, so let me know. Let me know when you all are good.
That's fantastic to have live, but that's okay. Where do I see?
I gotta get good at pointing at the Voodoo Ranger. I can't hit my spot every time. Boom. Boom. Boom.
Are you gonna become a Pit Vipers model, Derek?
Oh, I mean, no, that's not the goal. I know I spammed them today, but AV really wants to get sponsored by them real bad.
That's what I was wondering. Did you get that? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all. What?
Oh, did you get it yet, or are you still working on it?
Working on
like the Pit Viper.
Oh, no, we didn't come up with a. You know, I've been chiming in with Keith the Boogie every now and then to see if we have a press kit for it, and right now I'm doing it softly. I submitted photos of the podcast to be re-broadcast by them, but
all right.
You know, I don't have an updated version of the press kit yet, so we have not submitted formally.
Do we have the stuff posted yet on the topics there, Mr. Savorings?
Oh, I just put one up. Hold your horses. Hold your horses.
I got no patience right now.
No. You got no patience, man.
I'm on that motorcycle lifestyle now.
No, see, that's when you need. That's when you need patience. See, stop right there. If you're already being a height before you even get the thing, why don't you play some Road Rash and see how you feel after that?
Like my main plan with this motorcycle is to ride it to the mountains. It's an adventure bike, dude. That's what.
Is there something you're not telling us, Skylar? Are you unhappy about something? Like, do we have to?
I'm just tired of sitting inside, and I like hiking hurts my knees, so I'm gonna go to the top of a mountain without hiking
and go right off a cliff on your motorcycle, doing like 1,000 miles an hour.
I just paid off my student loans, so I figured I need to get in some more debt.
He had his whole life ahead of him. He just paid off his student loans.
I was like, student loans are paid off. Time to get some more debt.
No. Oh yeah, but you know what? I feel you on that. I just paid mine off too, and I'm like, I'll talk about what I just spent like $600 on the podcast because it is game related. It's very game related.
I think this one's like 7.5. We should probably start our podcast now that we've been live for like 3 minutes.
I know.
This is behind the scenes.
I shared it and everything. Are all of you all good now?
Just jacking out here.
Okay. I'm going to go for it.
Are you doing the intro?
Yeah. I'm going to do the little slap. 3, 2. That was for Keith. Maniacs! This is Saltier Podcast, episode 83?
Something.
82? It's 82 or 83. It'll be edited. If you click this, it's going to be on either the YouTube or the Facebook or the Soundcasting or title. So you know exactly what episode you're listening to. We are not coming to you from Studio 212 in South Seattle.
But you know it's in Seattle because I heard police sirens.
Yeah, you heard police sirens. It's in Seattle, Washington for sure. And we are the Soundcasting Network's very own video game podcast where your argument is
invalid.
Thank you kindly. We are fortunately brought to you by Boom. Oh, look at that. I hit that mark.
That was nice. That was nice.
We are brought to you by Voodoo Ranger IPA. # live dangerously. It is a delicious beer from the New Belgium Brewery. It is employee-owned and B Corp certified. Please drink dangerously. But, drink a lot of it. Or at least buy a lot of it. Stock it. Armageddon's coming. You need your damn Voodoo Ranger.
Yeah, Voodoo Ranger could very well be the next currency for all we know. So stock up on it.
Either that or Smeat. Oh, film reference for Watch It Pal. Look at that. I got him for days. And if you're listening to us, we're either going to be on iTunes, Spotify. We're going to be on SoundCloud. We are on Facebook via video. If London with a Y ever gets her act together, we're going to be back on YouTube. That is on pause at the moment, ATM. But on Instagram and Twitter, we are salt_tierpod. Facebook is just Salt Tier Podcast. I am at Loudnbrown on Instagram and Twitter. I am also Gross Steph with a PH on Steam and PS4. And in the red tank top, we have.
This would be the Jordan jersey.
Hey!
This is my OG one. This is the Savorings. Wearing the same jersey he bought when Jordan was still playing. The second time.
We are very fortunate, brown people, that we can wear stuff from when from back in the day. Not everybody has that luxury.
Oh yeah, and I definitely don't take it for granted.
I'll be honest. This one is a little short.
Crop tops are back in. They're in.
I guess so. I look ridiculous, so I'm just a beanpole. Continue, Savorings.
So yeah, you got the Savorings. ... You could find me on Steam when I'm actually playing something, which it's weird. I am playing a lot of stuff, but I'm not, because I'm de-hoarding my life. I have some time in between work, and I am de-hoarding my life while I've had it. Because basically the last 4 years I've worked, I've come home and I've just gone blah, and just throwing stuff in piles. But I live with other people, and I always plan the second I have a week or two off, where I'm not actually working, I'm gonna just clean it all up, and I'm 70% there. So that's what I'm into.
Superfan number 1 just chimed in on you there, Savorings. He hopes that you're really pumped for Deep Rock Galactic Humble Bundle. That's all. That's from Matt Stotts. Matty! Yeah. That's all.
Oh, it is. It's a Humble Bundle, huh?
Yeah.
I hadn't even looked. I meant to check today. I fell behind as a gamer today.
Look at him looking out for you.
Yeah,
okay, and I'm going to kick this over to our cinephile Watch It Pal.
Hey, so Watch It Pal on Instagram. I don't remember what my gamer tag is. I haven't played anything in so long. So we'll just stick with that.
It's still haunting it.
Probably.
Nice.
Something with a ghost in there.
Cool. Okay, here's the important thing, because I know you very well. Maniacs at Home, we are best friends. And I know you've been playing some AC. What is your AC account? Or is that just a bunch of numbers?
Oh, yeah, you play?
Spoon Goon.
Nice.
Spoon Goon for Animal Crossing.
Spoon Goon is
that is such a good tag.
Spoon Goon.
All right. Thank you for that. And kicking it off to the tallest host of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Robot.
It's little Max Headroom stuff going on.
This is Almight-Sky. You can find me on Instagram at Skylar's Back at It. You can find me Almight-Sky pretty much anywhere else. I don't know. If you want to find me, you'll find it. Other than that, as you might have heard, I'm in the process of buying a motorcycle.
Don't do it.
Do it.
She knows.
Rash.
Do it.
I already got the jacket with the pads in it.
That's what they all say.
That's what you buy first. You buy the jacket.
I already got the helmet. Yeah, I got the helmet.
And then the motorcycle.
Yeah, I even got the boots and the gloves. I got everything already. I just need the motorcycle. I already got the camping gear from the backpack and stuff.
I have something to say, but it's so morbid. I don't want to say it. I don't want to jinx anything.
Oh, the thing is, I'm not sure if this is one of the many, many jokes that Mr. Dane Cook stole, but his bit about buying a helmet and hitting girls is so good. It's so good. Maniacs at Home, if you on the computer, YouTube it. It's a solid bit. Great setup.
After you're listening to this, though,
I'm more happy just to get away from.
Yeah, we're gonna be here for hours. What was that?
I said I'm more happy just to get away from some people. Just get into the mountains.
You don't need a motorcycle for that.
Yeah, I I don't know. I just turned on Borderlands 3 for I don't even know how many times the other day, and I was just kind of feel like going outside. So
that game is broken.
So now I'm buying a motorcycle. By the way, this started off with me thinking about getting a Honda Ruckus, then a scooter, then a BMW bike, and now a full-size off-road ready bike that I'm going to travel Washington with.
Why don't you get a Can-Am?
You mean a dirt bike?
It's not a dirt bike.
It's
a dual sport bike.
Get a Can-Am.
Adventure bike. No.
But dual sport cam. If you can you throw that in the Facebook chat for the video, because I have no idea what that looks like.
I probably can. I can share it on my screen. But
okay.
But anyways, I've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain 2 lately. I've been super
What the heck
happy.
is a Risk Rain 2?
It's actually it's still in early access, but the next patch is going to be the full release.
For release.
And it's a really good game. It's just like it's a time killer. It's a continuous belt. The levels just keep getting harder. There's secrets.
Picture a semi cell shaded sci-fi gauntlet.
Yeah,
that's a
Cool.
roguelite.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I was bad at Gauntlet. I always chose
Gauntlet
the thief.
rules.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it rules, but I suck.
Yeah, no, the characters are super fun to play. They kind of remind me of like some League characters in a sense of like some of their abilities, and you get items randomly, or you can get an artifact of command, and you can actually select the items that you get, which
it's
like.
also sort of in the vein with the Deep Rock Galactic, where that one's like more mission. Yeah, it's sort of in that same vein, co-op sort of.
Yeah, play with up to 4 friends to see like how hard of a difficulty you can get to, and it's a lot of fun. You can unlock a lot of stuff by doing a lot of different things, and it's a good. I finally realized why it's called Risk of Rain is because if it's raining outside, you might as well just play it because you're gonna easily kill an hour just on one round. But yeah, that's about it. Oh wait, I can show this motorcycle.
Okay. Kick it off to another host in the meantime.
Can you see that?
Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah.
Can't see anything.
You can't see anything?
I just see your now handsome face before it's mangled in a horrible motorcycle accident.
It says I'm shooting. That's weird.
So what are we talking about? What we're playing and stuff?
Fine. I'll kick it to Savorings. Go for.
I got some doozies, you guys. Well, first of all, let me show you what I've been playing on.
Can you see it now?
Uh-oh.
No.
First
of all, we have this here.
Hey!
This is a really sick HOTAS. I got this for Christmas. It came in a pack. It came in a pack, so I have that, and I have literally the full throttle, and I have literally like the pedals and stuff and the rudder pedals down here. I was playing Ace Combat 7 and stuff with it yesterday, and just messing around with it. I also have been playing on I told you guys I was going to get this. I even posted it on here. This bad boy. This is a Switch thing, but it works on the PC. You just plug it right in, and it's got pedals and all that. So I was playing American Truck Simulator, and I got the Pacific Northwest pack.
Wait, what's American Truck Simulator?
Well, you really don't know.
Do you make like a handle and do you talk in like
You
trucker?
You totally can if you want.
As deep as if you want to get into it.
Yeah, and you can like just drive around and take jobs or start your own trucking company. And you literally drive from. I spent 2 hours driving from Port of Seattle to Kennewick, dropping off lumber at a Home Depot. That's literally what I did.
Is it like
it's
realistic though? Do you have to like factor in bathroom breaks and those 15-minute trucker naps and getting no-nos from the convenience store?
I'm still waiting on like the lot lizard mod if that's what you're asking for. None of that stuff, but you do have to manage fuel and cargo, and you have to get there on time, and it's pretty sick. Like I literally drove from the Port of Seattle, and it's got the view from there, and you get on the 90, you go through the little bridge. Except it's funny, it skips from that tunnel right there by Rainier, and it skips right to like Victoria, and like there's a T-Mobile building. It's pretty hilarious, like how they compress space and stuff. But that's basically what I did. So I did that.
There's a Euro Truck Simulator as well.
Yes, and that's the classic one. I think they're like on like the second or third one. It's got a bunch of DLC. And then there was an American one. I bought the American one on sale, and then there was a Pacific Northwest pack. So it's Oregon,
Maniacs.
Idaho,
I think you
and
mean.
Washington.
I think you mean Euro Lorry. Thank you.
No,
I think it's the Euro Lorry. That's not how they say it in the UK, my friend.
What if that's how they like do truck deliveries? They do automated or whatever, and you have to do them from home. Those little like virtual sim.
Oh yeah,
they already do that for some deliveries where they're like drones, but you're controlling them.
They do that for a lot of stuff. Maybe they'll do that in the future. Like you've ever seen Logan, and it's just like trailers driving around. Like maybe there's people at home just with the Mario wheel, just driving those back and forth.
Just at home playing American Truck Simulator.
Yep. True. So I did that, and I played Project Cars 2, which is an amazing game, period. But it's
so you're getting use out of that damn wheel.
Yeah, and I've been stacking racing games and flight games and stuff for years. Like one day I'm gonna get a wheel, and one day so finally I was like, you know what? Like, just do it. Like this is a perfect time to do it too. So for Christmas, I asked for this. I didn't know what else to ask for, so I was like, I want a full flight stick. So my fiance was like, okay, so she got it for me, and yeah. So I've been doing that, playing a lot of Stellaris, a little bit, and then I broke it, and then I tried to play it again, and I broke it again. I'm finding like all kind of weird exploits. I'm a currently unemployed tester, so maybe this is what I do subconsciously is like break games or try to.
It's in your nature, you know.
Yeah.
You find the bugs.
Yeah, I'm trying
Now,
to
when
stay
you
sharp.
see so Maniacs, actually, oh, we got a 5th toast, everybody.
Nice.
Who was that? Watch
All
it, pal.
good.
He's really excited. This is Murtaugh.
Hi,
Hi.
Murtaugh.
Hi, Key. Key.
So, Maniacs, we're gonna have Savorings at least explain to you the bare bones of what he's talking about. What do you talk about breaking a game in QA?
Basically, a lot of it is just playing it because like in QA when you're testing a game that's not out yet. A lot of it is
you got to go to layman's terms, my friend. We don't know who's watching this.
Yeah, but I'm saying like you work at a company, it's your job to quality assurance test these things.
You.
And it's not just for games; it's for hardware devices, phones, toothbrushes, anything that you test should be, anything that you use should be tested. Toasters, but in this case, in software, it's pretty obvious when things are broken from the beginning of it. If any of you have ever used software and it's been broken from the beginning, you pretty much you don't have to be a tester to know it. So a lot of that is just eyeballing and then just calling what you see. But then after a while, it starts to like become subconscious. You start to find patterns in things. You start to find like what types of games get hooked on certain types of glitches. And if you're a gamer or if you use your smart device a lot, you do find these little shortcuts, these little weird things you can do on it. So basically in this game, Stellaris, which you've heard me talk about ad nauseum on this podcast, I won't get into this, but basically I've been playing games and setting up like kind of interesting scenarios, like empires that I know will get along, and they get along so well that the computer doesn't know how to handle you getting along. So it's really weird. Like it's really weird AI decisions.
What a concept.
Yeah. It's just really weird AI decisions that they've added a lot of stuff to the game. So I know they're still wrinkling out, ironing out how things work together in systems. So it's really interesting to define these things before they narrow it down. And yeah.
So you're pulling a DS9 when the game wants you to pull a vanilla.
Just really weird stuff in that game. Like there's little systems you can get, like, okay, say you're exploring and you find this area, this star system, and it's got this cool little creature that's stranded on this planet. You can rescue it or you can study it. Either way, you'll get this research or whatever from it. So normally you could build a little space station right above it, and you can like with a little telescope and you can study it, and it builds up your research. You get more tech. You could buy lasers, let's say, later on because you have more tech because you know all this other stuff. So there's parts in this game where I've done certain things. I'm not sure how I did it, but a couple of times it wouldn't let me build a station, or it wouldn't let me do a certain thing I don't know. The game is in a kind of a weird state. They're going to be patching it and stuff. So to make a long story short, the tier version is I've been finding a lot of broken stuff in a game that I already kind of deep dive into anyway. So it's been kind of a game within a game to see what does this work? No, this doesn't work at all. Okay, well, how can I exploit this? And then I've just been doing that.
Nice.
Word. Okay, as far as
posted something in the chat.
Nice.
Thank you. Oh, you mean Stoddy? Sorry. You posted what was that again, Almight?
In the chat?
Almight?
What?
What did you say?
It looks like somebody posted something in the chat about horror games. I can't read it all because I got an icon in my way. But.
It's a horror game called Under, and Matt Stotts was wondering if anybody heard anything about it.
Under?
No,
I don't think so.
But Matt, if you want to play what's it called? Grounded, the game that just came out by Obsidian Studios.
Sage into it.
Yeah, like that's something that we should probably play, because that is in a way sort of a weird horror game because you're shrunk down and like ants are like towering over you. It's kind of unsettling. So
yeah, Rick Moranis.
That's all it is.
Hey, watch it, pal. What are you playing this week? Or actually, you haven't been on the podcast in months. What have you been playing during this entire COVID summer, and what are you currently playing?
I've been playing shit. The only thing I played for most of the lockdown was the Animal Crossing app on my phone, because I was so sick of everything, and I didn't have a Switch and I couldn't get one because they were all not being manufactured.
Oh my god.
High
five. Hold on. High five on the Switch frustration. High five on that.
Yes.
Because you know me, you guys know me. I wasn't going to buy a Switch, but I was going to buy a Switch cash in hand, and you cannot find them. It's the dumbest thing ever. And you can't buy them not in a bundle. like they're in bundles for like $500. I don't want all the other stuff. Just give me the Switch.
I was gonna buy one the 2 days before the lockdown was announced. Like they had them at the GameStop or something, and I didn't really want one. And my friend was like, "Oh, you should get one." And I was like, "Nah, whatever, I don't care." And then we went into quarantine, and like 2 weeks in, I was like, "Fuck, I really wish I'd bought a Switch." Because
they're impossible to find now unless you.
Well, I got one now. I got it off eBay.
Nice.
Paid way too much, but you know,
but
I
it
realized
wasn't a bundle
that
though, right?
What?
But it wasn't a bundle though, right?
No.
Okay,
bundle.
yeah.
It was just some.
So, Waterval, can you explain the difference between the Animal Crossing Switch game and the Animal Crossing app? Because I have no idea.
There's weirdly the app is kind of better.
I wasn't expecting that.
The app is it's really weird. So the app is like more for money. Like obviously they're selling you more because it's just so easy to like click and pay and buy all this shit. But it means that you have
microtransactions.
Yeah, but you have access to way more. So like you can get more interesting furniture and clothes and the gameplay is the same. It's like very repetitive. You just keep doing the same shit. But you get to build a house right away, a campsite right away. Forget what else. I mean, if you have money to burn, it's going to be way more exciting than the actual game. I don't. I'm very poor, so I did what I could. But the Switch version is just way slower, and it's a little, it's a little boring. Once you get everything, you can't really. There's not really anything else to do. Like I just log in now to fish. Like I was excited for Shark Week or Shark Month, and I fished the sharks, and that was it. I might actually sell the Switch because I just don't. It's just not my speed. It's just very like it's slow grow and you can't shoot anyone. I don't know.
Savorings will buy it.
Please ping me if you're gonna sell it.
Yeah, I will. Because I just like that's the only game I have. Besides like a trial of Wolfenstein, which was fun, but that's it. Like that's all I've just been watching TV. I watched all the shows I'm trying to catch up on, like Succession and the new Perry Mason. No gaming. I know I should
Perry
though.
Mason?
Huh?
There's a new Perry Mason?
There's a new Perry Mason and it's so good. It's on HBO.
Here.
It's so good. It's so
no
good.
Way.
It's
I used to watch
violent.
that.
It's really
and then,
good.
of course, Marion's on her 7th watch through of the Jersey Shore. And the Real Housewives of Atlanta, or because that is who Watch Your Pal is.
I will admit JWoww is one of my celebrity crushes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You remember Natalia, my friend Natalia and I were almost on Bad Girls Club.
What?
Wait, what the hell is Bad Girls Club? Explain to the maniacs.
Bad Girls Club was one of those shitty reality shows where they just put like a bunch of terrible people in a room and they had to live with each other and they always got in fights and stuff.
The Florida State
State
University dorms is what you're saying.
Yeah, it was basically like the formula for reality shows. Just
it was in Florida too. Like at least the first couple seasons were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that show.
How much were they willing to pay you?
I don't remember, but Natalia, we were both out of work, and she was like, "Well, fuck, I'm not really qualified for anything except this listing for Bad Girls Club." So we went, and we got a second interview, and we got to go again, and we were in this like big room with the producers, and they had us like all interact and talk to each other. But at the end of the day, we were both just a little too nice. They wanted to.
That's where
crazy.
Yeah, that's where New York is from. Have you ever seen that chick New York? She's like pops up in movies and just talk shows and stuff randomly. Sometimes you probably seen her in the last 10 years. She just randomly shows up and stuff. But she's from the first season of that show.
Hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah.
That said, maniacs, this is gonna be fast. I played almost no games this week. A little bit of Overwatch, a little bit of PC Tekken. That's it. I hope that was fast enough. I gave up on Cuphead because I realized it's only fun with another person.
No, this
Correction.
is just hard. Is it just hard?
It is, but that's the same thing as Contra. I never played Contra by myself. Like,
Ever?
I could play it, but it wasn't the same. Like playing it with a friend is just way more fun. I don't play a lot of fighters or shooters when I don't have friends online. Like
Sure.
I'll play it for maybe 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And Chappelle knows this. If we have a good team on Overwatch, or my buddy, what is his damn tag? His tag is no, it's not Hoochie Mama. Oh, Taco Bell Explosion. Taco Bell Explosion and I play COD, and when we're on, we'll play for like 4 hours. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I will play 2 games of Warzone and log off.
But the thing with Cuphead though is, to play 2-player, you both have to be on point. Like one person cannot carry the other. Like
most
your
people
other
are
player will
better
get you
than me at
killed.
shooters, so I'm the dead weight.
Yeah. So Cuphead is a little bit different. Like Contra, yeah, your teammate can die, and as long as he's not stealing lives to come back in when they're dead, it doesn't really affect you. But like Cuphead, like you'll die in the first 30 seconds if your teammate is not up to snuff.
Oh, you mean, yeah, that's exactly how I play. That said, we must move on, my darlings, and we're gonna kick it over to Savorings because we gotta talk about chips, not tortilla, not potato. What are we talking about?
I'll make this quick. This is something that we did speak on. I posted this on the Facebook if people want to take a look at it.
Can you bring the viewers up to date?
Yes.
We got 3 whole people on Facebook and plenty of other people that are going to watch and listen to it because we're awesome.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, basically, we spoke about this when it first got announced. This is Intel, the makers of all things chips, whatever's in your Apple, whatever's in your probably what you're listening to this on right now, whatever your personal computer is at home. Although AMD is definitely catching them. They're kind of smacking them around right now, actually. But they were going to re-enter because they've been in the graphics market before. And actually, by default, they're the largest graphics manufacturer because most people buy Intel chips and they're in laptops and stuff, or stuff at your library or like at a school or something. And that has built-in graphics. Not very good, but technically it's graphics. So by default, they're the largest graphics manufacturer. But as far as stuff that you would find in like a console or a gaming PC or a low-profile, a super high-powered streaming device or something like that, it's normally an NVIDIA or an AMD processor in there. And if you've been listening to the podcast for any time, we've talked about these. But basically, Intel was going to enter into this discrete, that's what it's called, graphics market. And they're going to be a major player because they can spit out a lot of chips. They got a lot of money behind it. They can pair it with what they already have, which is their strength, which is processors and storage devices, like hard drives and stuff like that. But so everybody was kind of excited. The news and the specs that were coming out being leaked and stuff were very strange, very different. Everybody was like, what is this even going to be like? And if anything, even if you were a Intel hater or you don't care or you're agnostic, this could be something very disruptive, and it could affect if you use any sort of electronics down the line. So people were looking, at least me, I was looking forward to the entertainment value of all this, like seeing how like what they'd come out with, what the price was, what the competition would do. Would the PlayStation 6 be running Intel graphics instead of what it's been running the last 2 times? Like just weird stuff like that. Well, anyway, today rumor came out, and this is from a YouTube channel from a gentleman called Adored TV. That's also the name of his website. I've been following this guy's channel for a while, and he's pretty spot on with his leaks and his predictions and rumors of this sort. And we were talking about this before the podcast. Given the current economic state of the world, production cycles and manufacturing lines being disrupted, this could also make sense going forward. And also another factor before I really get into it, Intel has a brand new CEO. He's only been on the job for maybe about a year now, and he was already looking to make cuts. So the main story is it's kind of looking like Intel's going to dip out of the graphics card race before they even really enter it. Like they're basically going to ghost us with these graphics cards that we all know
Sounds about right
somewhere out there, but they basically might ghost us. And as gamers, whether you're, like I said, agnostic, you're into it, or everything in between, I don't know, like here on the panel, like what do you guys think about maybe the absence of a major player who could have shaken things up and turned things around? Does it matter? Because we never.
It doesn't matter because AMD is going to be the new overlord.
And then they'll turn evil.
Oh,
okay with that.
Strong word.
I mean, I think the thing is a lot of those companies.
Watch out.
Oh, a lot of those companies kind of like over promise what they're going to deliver, or they think they can just convince people that what they're doing is more spectacular than it is. And the way that COVID has affected everything, they can't really bullshit anymore. Like they can't bluff.
Yeah.
So if they know that for sure this is not going to be, as impressive or as money making as it is, I think they're just cutting it. Like, I don't think they really could compete. I think they were just saying they could, and then realize that like, well, fuck, we can't afford to fuck up like we could before. There's no buffer. There's no like safety net for anybody.
And definitely, we've been talking about these two companies here on the podcast for a while now, and they just did their earnings reports. I think last Tuesday, AMD, Intel, Disney, a bunch of companies did theirs. AMD stock jumped up. I've been tracking it for a while. It's up to like $67 now. It started off at $9 in 2016. It's at $67 right now. Intel took a beating, and they're lower than AMD for the first time in like 20 years. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yep, I told you they're on the slow burn.
Mhm.
AMD's on that slow. I convinced my buddy to buy an AMD processor.
Yeah,
And I don't even have an AMD processor.
dude, those are on sale right now for like something ridiculous on Amazon.
Yeah,
So,
they're like, it's so well priced for what you get.
yes. So you're right. A lot of that stuff has been happening, and it's just compounding. And Intel, of all companies, they're one of the biggest bloated. I'll put it to you this way: we are just now on the verge of these consoles are going to have 8-core, 16-thread processors, meaning it can do 8 things simultaneously, and it's got for each core, it's got a software core that can kind of do the same thing. It's emulated, so it can do, in theory, up to 24 things at once. This is something that's common now in desktop computers, something that's becoming more common. Even in phones, it's getting toward 8-core stuff. Intel was like the pace car, was the bell cow of pushing CPUs and performance and everything. They were stuck because they were number one for so long. They were stuck on 4 cores forever. We should have been on 8 cores like 5 or 6 years ago, and we're just kind of like now getting into them like right now. So that's why I kind of wanted to report on this, because this could have been another disruption thing, and this could have knocked some of the other stuff loose. So just as an example, like one company can stifle technology, and it's good. It would have been good to see that innovation, or at least that competition in that market. So
Yeah,
Anybody need to chime in on?
I'm okay
mean-
with them not.
Yeah, maniacs know that I have a Dell Optiplex at home.
yours is a 4-core, 8-thread.
Yeah, it's a 4-core 8-thread. But I was gifted a 970, I think.
I think you have a
So-
960, right?
I don't know. It's the big boy. It
Yeah,
actually had a hard time fitting. I think the
Yeah.
70, because it's not the 980.
No, the 80.
The 980 is the ultimate one. I think I have a 970 last time I checked.
I don't know.
It's long.
It's a good card.
Yeah, it's totally working just fine. And anyway, the processor isn't my problem because I'm not playing anything that gnarly.
Yeah.
And I'm not streaming.
You're not playing anything.
Well, and here's the other thing. To your
I'm
point.
back. Wait. Oh yeah, that's right. Almight, you don't even know what happened in the last couple weeks. Guess who turned on their stupid PC?
Oh yeah, you missed that, Skylar. He did. He has been playing his PC. He's been on Steam
I've been playing
and
the
stuff.
PC. I've been on
Yep.
Steam because Goon PNW told me that every Wednesday night he has a rookie Tekken night, and it's all new people that are trying to get into Tekken, and we all jump in there and we all get our asses kicked, but the chat room is all teaching people what they did wrong. Really easy base level stuff like stop blocking down back. That's Street Fighter. In Tekken, you block down back, all the mids will overhead you.
I'm thinking about
Or-
joining that group because I still got that stick you gave me like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
And I was gonna
man.
Try to fix, trying to hook it up.
My dude, jump in there because I am awful. I'm looking like an asshole. It's like
Yeah.
a success when I take a round. That said, there are people in there that can't take a round. But when it comes down to it, there's like 2 or 3 people that just run the room. And, Goon has pretty good FGC fundamentals. He does pretty well, even though he's new to Tekken.
Hey,
I haven't played him.
you
What?
respect that man. He was 356th in Dragon Ball. All right.
Dude.
Oh,
That's
that's
not,
not-
it's not even.
but that's-
what's the point?
that's not Tekken, though.
no.
Like,
No,
saying
no,
that's
it doesn't
like-
matter what the fighting game. In any fighting game, I will not play against Goon. Like
No.
I don't
Oh,
need that.
I'll play
massacre
against
in
some
my
Street
life.
Fighter any day. We went and trained. It was probably almost a year ago, but he was interested in Street Fighter, and I would just get random players every time, and I would teach him what he did wrong. I'm like, this isn't an anime fighter. Like, there's no air dashing, there's no air blocking, and he had to learn the hard way. And I
If Good wants to
It's
catch
not
these
kicking
hands,
his ass. What?
I said if Good wants to catch these hands, he has to meet me on Lethal League. That's the only.
Oh! 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 So good. But let's move on. Maniacs, if you don't know about Lethal League, I believe London is going to leave a link in our Facebook chat.
That's a lot of
One
L's.
of the most. London will lovingly leave Lethal League in our lengthy chat. And you will see one of the baddest ass party games ever. I'll be honest, here at Loudnbrown's house, we throw PAX parties here, and it has gotten violently loud to the point where my roommate and I thought we were just going to get kicked out. Like, we
Yeah.
looked at each
The
other,
only
held up our drink, and we were like, we're getting evicted tomorrow. Have a good night.
the only
That's-
game I stand. There's two games actually I stand a chance on at these parties, and it's Tricky Towers and Lethal League.
Oh! And you're good at both of them.
I run the table on both of those. Other than that, I just sit out. There is 0 point in me playing any fighting games.
Tricky
Okay,
Towers is
and
awesome.
now,
I love Tricky
Maniacs.
Towers.
Maniacs, if you're listening to us via Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Instagram, that's not a thing. But we are the Salt Tier Podcast, Soundcasting Network's very own video game podcast where your argument is
Invalid.
Thank you. We are brought to you by Voodoo Ranger. Oh, I missed it that time. Voodoo Ranger IPA.
It's over here
That's
on my
B
side.
Corp certified and
I was about to say, it's
employee-owned.
over.
Fantastic beers. And we are moving on to the juicy subject where everybody can chime in on this. We are in the age of COVID-19. The year of our Lord, Anno Domini 2020, and it is August. So at this point, all of the summer conventions have been canceled or thrown online.
Real
Some
quick,
of them are still trying to make money. Oh, go ahead.
do you want to know?
Savorings.
You want to know how crazy 2020 is?
Go for it.
And I'm gonna tie this back to video games, and I'll let you have it. The Rock just bought the XFL for like $15 million. Like that's how crazy. That's how crazy this world is.
Really not that much for an entire football league.
And he has a business partner, and it makes her the first female owner of an entire league. So that's pretty cool too.
That is
That,
yeah.
seems like a bad investment, is what I think.
I don't know,
But we don't know. Like, that's the thing. Coronavirus is fundamentally changing everything about business. Like, it's changing how people are even approaching business, or, you know, a lot of those like really old grandfather businesses are so out of touch, and they weren't prepared for anything like this. Like, they don't have the kind of innovation that's going to save them. So,
Yep.
who
No,
knows?
I hear you.
Who
So-
I
knows?
hear you.
So
And-
so that's how crazy 2020 is right there.
It is crazy, and I'll chime in on that. I was having a discussion with a couple bartenders here in Seattle, and we are frighteningly aware that, you know how there's like fast service food compared to like, you know, sit down. You know, there's like fast food versus like a 5-course meal.
Yeah.
Let's say a 5-course meal is like a Cannes Toronto International Film Festival movie. That's not going to be it. Like, they're reaching on the racks and picking up all the stuff they've been sitting on for years, and because there's no production right now. Okay, sorry, Maniacs. Me and Watch It Pal are very into movies, so we understand a couple of things that maybe are video game related. But when studios buy the rights to stuff, they'll film something, and if the producers and the executives do not feel it's the right time to put it out, they will, correct me if I'm wrong, Watch It Pal, they'll shelve it. They call it shelving.
Well, they
it.
sell so much shit for like whatever reason they feel like it. Sometimes they wait, they film it, they have a bunch of stuff with like an up and coming actor, and then they wait until they find something that can like propel them, and then they
Totally.
release all their other shit later.
For
Or
example, the movies Dante Peak and Volcano were not filmed at the same time. But when one of them made a big push for marketing, the other studio released it off the shelf because the posters and the premise were so similar. They got free cross-marketing internationally.
Is that why there's always like clone movies? Is that why
Yes!
that always
Oh, yeah,
happens?
yeah.
That
Studios
is
are always
exactly.
doing it.
People
Oh.
film mediocre movies just to get international box office money.
yeah,
So
like
when-
Armageddon and Deep Impact and all that stuff.
Yes, exactly that. You
like
nailed
when
it.
John Wick came out, okay, then you go and look on like a Redbox and you'll see like 5 really shitty, low budget, probably starring like Tom Jane, like similar, assassin killing other assassin movies. And they're just like shitty, but because people are like in the mindset, oh, this is John Wick, whatever, they'll rent them.
Crazy.
Like they can finally make money off these weird.
So like the Abyss
Totally.
and Deep Star 6, huh?
Hey. So, in this conversation, Maniacs, to bring it back to video games, not only are we going to start seeing B movies being released, A.5 movies, A- movies, whatever you want to call them, we are also going to eventually get to the point where viable movies for profit aren't even going to exist, and frighteningly streaming and fast media are going to start taking. We're talking about bushy-eyed YouTube creators and the streaming culture is going to be the only new stuff out there because the big studios don't have the resources that they usually do. And as Watch It Pal said, they're all grandpas that don't know how to live in 2020.
There is a
Disney.
movie. There's an English movie that's filmed all on Zoom or something, and it just won an award. I don't remember which one. I should probably research this stuff before I talk about it. But
that is going to be few and far between. It really is. Because, like I said, the Parks and Rec reunion was all on Zoom, but you can't do everything like that, can you?
That's what I'm saying. It's just like all these out of the box like ideas to make things cheaper are going to be more and more prevalent as it goes on, because they can't really, like, big budget stuff tried to start filming again, like Jurassic Park, and everyone got COVID like the first day they were filming.
Freaking rough.
So, you are going to see a lot more stuff like Netflix originals or just stuff that's kind of navigating the big budget shit. Like probably a lot more indie stuff. I mean, I hope, what I was hoping is that like companies would be a little smarter and take advantage of, as shitty as it sounds, take advantage of like everyone being in quarantine and everyone working from home more. Like game companies, man, I wish they'd made like a group like fantasy game that we could all play together. Like imagine if we'd all had a game where we could like basically like Dungeons and Dragons together. I would have played that shit every day, but there wasn't anything like that, and that could have made a shit ton of money.
Yeah. I mean, the online RPGs do exist, and
video game companies are killing it right now.
I know, and also Savorings. I keep talking about it, but my boy Cosmonaut, he's been crushing it with like COVID hobbies, and he just put out a video for Warhammer, and he was like, Warhammer's the next thing, and I looked at him, I'm like, my dude,
Warhammer's always been a thing. What do you mean the next thing?
Yeah, but he's saying in the world where it's small groups of close friends, like Warhammer is something that is not mass appeal. You're not going to see groups of 80 people watching it, but you'll get like 4 homies. Oh, I know you're raising your eyebrows. I know Game Workshop and Warhammer are huge, but I'm saying in the age of COVID, it's going to get even bigger.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, all this stuff.
But we got to move on to the next subject. And the whole reason we're talking about things changing is here at Salt Tier Podcast, we are very proud of our presence at PAX. Every year, and I think this is why our super producer, the Regent of Rigatoni, and the Lieutenant of Linguini, the reason he keeps us around is every PAX, our viewer and listenership like doubles, if not triples, because of our presence at PAX. We're all Washington State natives, and we all go to PAX literally every year.
Yeah.
If not at least every other year.
I do straight up drive-bys there. I just run in and just like beeline through everything.
We also have industry intel. We get into the industry party. We get swag. We get hands-on brand new games, like almost at the rate of the big companies like IGN and Kotaku. Like we're there. And we're not like just me and AV. It's like 9 of us. Maniacs, you see 4 of us, but you don't see Charmanda, you don't see Sage Bell, you don't see Goon, you don't see Katarina, you don't see Vince, you don't see like all of our shadow agents that are there and have been on the podcast at any given time. So, in this age of COVID, because these conventions make so much money, people are trying to find a way to do something different. And the only comparison, and this is how I'm going to start off this conversation, the only comparison I have is BlizzCon, which is an extremely difficult, and I think Skylar knows this, right? It's a hard convention to get into. It's pretty limited. It's exclusive.
I don't really like Blizzard, so I would.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of Sage. Sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. You two are exactly alike. You're tall and you're Caucasian. What? I'm a racist. But
thank you.
In lieu of this, BlizzCon has always done their convention and then a exclusive, like pay for it online experience where they'll give you all the in-house panels, all the releases, which get leaked like 10 minutes later. I don't know how that matters. And they give their own version of perks to do it online and still feel like you're part of the community. And that's what a lot of people have been adopting, because we've missed San Diego Comic-Con. We've missed...
No, that actually, they had some panels for that. It was pretty lame, though.
Oh, they did a lot of panels, but we missed... What I'm talking about, we missed physically. We missed SakuraCon, Emerald City Comic-Con. We missed Anime Expo. We missed, and then PAX is the next big one. Oh, we missed Evo. We were going to do an online Evo, but then that even got canceled due to homie being a shithead. But yeah, no, we can say shithead. We like our sponsors.
I've been swearing this whole time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Our sponsors know that we cuss. That's like we are, and our YouTube channel knows that we're not for kids. The fucking asshole, and he ruined it for a lot of people. But with the FGC, a lot of the big tournaments were supposed to be this summer. So online to generate money is real tough because hotels will carry these conventions knowing that they're going to have dozens of people staying at the hotel. That's how they make income. But they don't have that. So, where are we right now? I got no answers. I know Watch It Pal had a talking point to start this. Watch It Pal. What do you think of online conventions and where the state of that is?
What's super weird, I think the last time I was on this podcast, we were kind of talking, this is pre-COVID, so we were talking about how, like, dynamics are shifting and, information is so readily available and people are kind of wising up to companies like ripping them off and promising them things as if it's a big deal when it really isn't, like subscribing and you get this like limited edition bullshit that isn't really that cool, and how much like hype is around it. And I feel like COVID just amplified that fact that like, these big conventions cost so much to go to and they're so exclusive and you get, a little bit of swag or whatever, but it's kind of just a waste of money on everyone, like all sides. Like the company's spending a lot of bullshit and they have a lot of like, the hotels and the Red Bull or whatever is sponsoring them. And then people are spending all this money on travel to go there. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's like it's one of those things that might just be.
Is it a grift?
Old.
It's too old.
It might just. It's just like the old way of doing business, where it's like a lot of sleight of hand, and here's this fancy thing, but secretly it's really nothing. Like bullshit bluffing of companies and capitalism.
So basically, it needs to be Ready Player One, where we all put our VR goggles on and we're all in our house.
Okay.
With our suits.
The thing is, like, if you do them online, you will reach more people, and if access to that is cheaper or readily available, you may still make a profit off that because you're not spending the overhead to have it in some like giant space or whatever.
Okay.
Well, I hear you.
The only thing is, well, like,
I think it will still be viable in the future, only because it's targeting an audience to get outside that doesn't necessarily get out a lot, right? Like it allows
Yeah.
people to get together. I mean, really though, it allows people
No,
to
you're
get out
totally right.
together and to like meet and socialize with other people who also don't get out, because this is like the one event where they're like, all right,
And
I'm gonna leave for
also,
this thing.
Almight, Skylar,
So
and
it's good
Savorings,
stuff.
you know this because we've been doing this podcast for a while. It's not just video games. It isn't. Like the whole thing about PAX is tabletop is a huge element there.
Mhm.
There are indie and major companies that have it, and you can't play these online. There are people that go on the Penny Arcade forums just to meet people
Well,
to
even
play them when they get there.
yeah, well, even just stuff as like cosplayers and just also
That's a
companies.
huge part of it.
Yeah,
Cosplay is a huge part of it. I
Yeah.
think Watchapal had a talking point on
Well,
that
yeah,
also.
I'm not saying that this is a good thing. I don't think that, taking out the social aspect is necessarily
Oh,
good.
no.
Although it might force companies to kind of create more content and less fluff as far
Yeah.
as that goes. But yeah, there are cosplayers who this is really, and tabletop gamers who this is the only time they see their friends because they have friends that they play with online for other things, and then they all get to meet up again and see each other. And
Yeah, PAX is one
they
of the
only have,
only. Oh, sorry about that.
oh, go ahead.
I would say PAX is one of the only events where like a lot of my friends are in the same spot at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And like cosplayers for sure, they follow each other online and then they finally get to see in person and see what they've made in person. And seeing a cosplay in person is so much different than seeing it online. Like actually getting to
is.
like look at it in detail.
And
So
also,
that's
Watchapal, you know this, when people, the online cosplay community, when they collaborate to do a shoot together, that has to be at a con. Pick out and hashtag cospix, COSPIX, that's Vince's company. When you go online and go to cospix.com and find cosplayers to collaborate with because you're from the same anime or you're from the same game, that's something that has to be in the flesh, in a lens, from a camera. You could probably do it on Photoshop, but it's not the same. There's, you know, uh, there's the photographer telling you different poses and stuff to make the entire series of photos better. Like that's something that only exists at conventions in person. Like that's not going to exist online. And people need to understand that's why conventions are so crazy. It's not just content. It's not just getting to demo games that aren't out yet. Which, by the way, is one of the biggest reasons cons are popular. We can see trailers right now, but we can't get hands on. So screw
Yeah,
that.
that's why I was just saying like I think cons and like conventions and all that will stay. They might. I think the only thing I can see changing in future events is they'll maybe allow the streaming option as well, since they'll
Oh, they
already be
have to.
since
This
they'll be
is
set up for it
new.
now.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
example, a host at Salt Tier that I will not name, or two, or three, Jesus, will probably almost work at home from now on because of COVID-19 showing how much can be done remotely. So much.
Yeah.
So much. But sorry to bring this conversation back to what we were talking about. What
We got to wrap up
is
here soon.
I know this is going to be my last talking point, and this will be the end point. Thank you, Almight-Sky. Do I think, or do maniacs think, online content is worth being paid? Like, pay for content.
Are
Like,
you talking
we'll
about
pay
like if they were to charge us for PAX to watch it?
Yes, because that's what BlizzCon does. BlizzCon does like a $50 exclusive. You get all access. Like, is there a way to monetize experiencing an online convention?
No.
I feel that there is. I feel that there's an element to exclusivity. I follow Kevin Smith on podcasts, and he gets lit in to a lot of podcasts. And a lot of those streams have garbage on the
See,
chat room.
The
And
problem.
if
The problem is it's not Blizzard. That's like Blizzard has its own content that they're like, if you want to see it, you got to pay money.
But I'm talking
Yeah.
about this on
Like-
a whole. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? How about this? You go to a Bethesda or Capcom, or you go to let's say whatever. You go to like a Microsoft or Bungie panel, but for X amount of dollars more, you can be part of an exclusive chat that is visible. Everybody else can see the chat and see the panel, but they can't comment. I think that's a tiny way. It's exactly like Twitch, right? I think that's a way that you can monetize it without being, an old hat from the old world.
I mean, and plus, like at that level, you're kind of playing percentages because you figure 1 million people watch it, 1% of the people do it, and you charge them $1.50 or $2 or whatever to do it. Like that's making some money. That's some money that you didn't have before.
There's the bundle aspect, and this is the way we're going to talk about cons. Imagine I am and these boys and girls and everything in between. These people that are Blizzard till they die. If you told them that $50 would get them exclusive chat rights to any panel for the weekend, they pay it in a second.
I mean, people do that anyway. Like, look at Sony. If you told people, "Hey, you can play your Sony games online," it's $60. People line up.
They do that on Twitch. You sub to Twitch. That's not free.
Yeah. I think the thing is that companies are just going to have to be aware that if they want to entice people to pay real money to do things online, then they should do more content or more like exclusive interaction. Like I'm sure people want to talk to developers or, game designers exclusively, then they do want to pay for just advertising. So like I wouldn't pay money to watch someone at a game company just tell me about a game that I already know is coming out necessarily, because I'm going to learn that information eventually anyway. And, a lot of it is just hype. But if they were offering some sort of panel where I could actually talk to one of the developers, then that would give me a little more insight. I'd actually get to feel like I was involved in.
I hear you.
Yeah, and the other thing is why would you charge for that? Because if you're trying to get someone to buy your game,
exactly. But that's that's business 101. Is charging for advertising, which is really fun. I mean,
no, but
we're not going to go into like
it exists. Or whatever, my darling hosts, it already exists. I wouldn't pay for a dance on Fortnite, but people buy that, and that's a huge source of income for them. I will do my closing statement right here.
Okay.
I think that in the online world of conventions, being able to observe it should be free. I think the smart thing to do would be to have to log in, attach an email to it, and yourself. And you could, just like you had to do with the Penny Arcade forums or in the fighting games, the Shuriken.com forums.
You can't
just come in. You can't just come in as a phantom anonymous person and troll someone. So at that level, I think I would pay, because I'm an FGC person, if there was a Capcom panel that was $5 more, where you can hit up Combo Fiend and the developers of Street Fighter 6 to make your comments actually seen and responded to, I would pay for that. I think it's getting more specific, and there's an answer there, but I don't know it. I'm just saying that there is a way to monetize it, and I will kick it to Savorings, who really wants to talk. That is the closing statement. I am at Loudnbrown on Twitter and Instagram. I am Gross Def with a PH on
Steam. He's on there, ladies and gentlemen.
On Steam and PS4. Savorings, take it.
Okay, I got 2 fixes for you. So basically, here's how you fix the the virtual presence thing. Get the little app, and you have these little robots with a screen on it. You can put like whatever anime, you can put whatever avatar. It has a camera on it, and basically you can just drive around the convention and interact with things there in person. I don't know, stupid, but stupider things have worked. Secondly, I think to make it more viable to charge people, you would have to. Sort of the thing with streaming platforms, right? There might be one or two things you want to watch on Netflix. There's one or two things you want to watch on Hulu. Oh, that's on Disney Plus. That's another thing I gotta get. Why don't they just bundle all this stuff together? So if you're gonna do that, oops, I thought I was on silent. So if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna get people to stream, like let's say like PAX or to be in these panels, or say you want to follow a particular company that's at all these things, they should bundle it together, make it worth the person's while. So you don't just get to follow this developer here at PAX, but when they do a thing at Gamescom, or when they do a thing at GDX, or when they do a thing at Tokyo Game Show, you get access to all that. So I think if you made it worthwhile to people, like your idea with the Capcom thing, yeah, if you were just interested in Capcom and you followed Capcom around from convention to convention and got to talk to them at every convention or at every developers conference or whatever they have, you'd be more enticed to maybe pay that extra couple of dollars to see the rest of the convention. So I think if they all put their stuff together, if they marketed it, and that's what Watch It Pal is talking about it too. If they were smarter about it, more bundled things together, you're starting to see some companies come around to that. It's going to take them a while to turn around and get it together.
We're mostly talking about the same thing, though.
So
I think like that's what I mean. I think we all collectively see what is possible without being predatory. That's my problem.
That's what I mean. If you're offering,
I don't want them to go Activision on us.
Yeah. If you're offering an actual value for what the person's paying, then by all means, go ahead and do it. Like I said, if you want to follow Activision around at all the conventions, you can get their little Activision pass, and you can talk to the developers at everything. And then it's at PAX, and it's like, oh, you have an Activision pass, so now your PAX pass is only $3 instead of $5. You want to get that, and then they can just make money that way.
That seems like a solution.
Yeah.
How can our maniacs follow you, my darling?
I am mostly on the Steam. I am mostly in VR. That's the other thing I've been playing with that I didn't pull up. I got my VR back there. Oh, and I will really be in VR because I spoke about it the last time I was on the show. So not last week, but the week before. There was a new VR headset. Well, I did pull the trigger on that thing. I did pre-order it. It'll be here in the fall. It's the HP Reverb G2. It looks awesome. It kicks the crap out of the
Hewlett
vibe.
Packard?
Yes, it's actually better than the Valve Index, which is Valve's. And HP went to Microsoft and Valve and worked on this and built this jointly with both of them.
I will brag because of my being a musician.
Mm-hmm.
I have.
Oh, nice. You got the Sonys? Yeah.
These are the Sony MDR 7506s. The weirdest thing about these is they're only $80. This is the standard, the go-to for recording studios.
Yeah,
they
I used to have like
forever.
I used to have the 90s version of those. Yes, and they do last forever. I used to cut lines and stuff in them. But I had like the chrome piece across the top, and I forget it was chrome. And I'd be like mowing a lawn in like summertime and like take my headphones off and like get third degree burns on the back of my neck and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah,
but anyway,
hit me up on Steam. Hit us up on the Steam group, and talk to you guys later. And
thank you.
It around
and
to
Watch It
our
Pal.
Host.
Closing statement.
Our Steam
please.
guest.
Well, my closing statement, I guess, would just be to like wrap up kind of what we talked about. It's just that, business is changing because of, events that are out of our hand. And if we as consumers keep pushing for companies to be more forthright and actually provide more content and less bullshit, we could potentially see something really cool happen in business.
How do you mean bullshit? Sorry to interrupt.
I
believe you said
side-of-hand advertising, charging for stuff that we wouldn't necessarily even need, but that they're
so you're talking about like cosmetics and stuff?
Yeah, like cosmetics or advertising or
I have bought I am part of that problem.
Hey, but you play fighting games though.
Let her finish the statement.
Yeah.
True.
Anyway, I'm just saying that like businesses are now having to be a little smarter, a little less old-fashioned about how they approach it. And we could see like a resurgence of companies that are smaller and more exciting and more connected to people. Like you were even saying, like, let's ask them for their, instead of charging them a bunch, get their email and then connect with them that way and like get them more involved with people who are creating this stuff, but could potentially, build much more brand loyalty, much more just like innovation, because people are going to be more excited and feel more connected to these companies it could be really good, or they could just go back to the way it was if COVID ever ends, and then whatever. But if we push for that as consumers, I think it could be really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's not going to go back to the way it was, and I think a lot of things with video games can't go back to the way it was. Like a lot of these companies,
but
cable companies can't be charging people what they used to anymore.
That's the thing. It really just kind of like burned off a lot of the fat that we had before, and now we see what's actually there and have to hold people accountable, because I think also we're all just kind of tired and fed up, and
But how do our maniacs follow you, Watch It Pal?
I only want them to follow my Instagram, Watch It Pal, because that is the Instagram that I use just to post weird videos of whatever crazy shit I'm watching. I just posted a bunch from this really old Clint Eastwood movie, The Gauntlet, which is amazing. It's amazing. It's just stuff like that.
Have you watched Kelly's Heroes?
Huh?
Have you watched Kelly's Heroes? It's a 1980 Clint Eastwood film.
Oh, I'm aware of Kelly's Heroes, although I haven't watched that one.
Oh my God! I gotta give props to Almight-Sky for dropping a deep cut Clint Eastwood movie. I already loved you because I love with my entire self. I love you so much, like even more. I'm gonna give you the dirtiest hug when I see you next. Continue, Watch It Pal.
Oh, well, that's basically it. It's just a bunch of like screen grabs and movie clips, and it's probably my favorite of all of my social medias, so that's what I would want people to follow more than anything.
You heard it. And lastly, we're gonna bring it over to Almight-Sky, who's also gonna carry it out because apparently my audio is bullshit tonight. So, Almight-Sky, closing statements and bring us home.
My closing statement is I'm about that cheap ass free life, and if that's why I'm about Riot Games, baby. It's all free. And if you want me to watch your thing, you better make it free, or else.
I'm gonna interrupt just once.
What's up?
Just once. You are a MOBA League player that has never given any money to Riot.
No, I've given money to Riot. But I've given $100 over 8 years. Like, go fuck yourself.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I know what I mean. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You said free, so I heard free. I'm like, because
game is free.
Those people exist.
No,
those people exist.
All the announcements are free. The games are free. All their other games that they've been coming out with are free. Like, I like their style. They're like, here's the game for free. If you choose to give us some money, give us some money. Otherwise, just play the game.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. If you want me to watch your bullshit panel that I probably don't care about, you better make it free.
Yeah, YouTube has ruined a lot of it for these companies. Like, people are used to going to YouTube and just get the thing for free.
Exactly. Like, I don't need to pay for anything. If you're gonna make me pay for something, like, I don't give a shit right off the bat, and it's probably gonna make me buy your product even less once it's out. Like, if you want me to buy your $60 game, that panel better be fucking free for me to ask questions, or else go fuck yourself. Or I'll wait till the game out for a month.
But how do the maniacs follow you, Almight-Sky?
You can follow me on Instagram at Skylar's Back At It. You can follow me on the Salt Plains of League of Legends at Almight-Sky.
So salty.
Yeah. So salty. My final closing statement is stay salty, my friends. This has been a Soundcasting Network production. This has been Salt Tier Podcast, where your argument is
invalid.
We would like to thank our sponsors, Voodoo Ranger. We'd like to thank our super producers, Keith the Boogie and Bobby Stills, for putting up a good fight and allowing us to do this every week.
Yeah.
You can find us live streaming on Facebook and hopefully YouTube soon, Mondays at about 8 o'clock. You can find us on all podcasting platforms. And that's everything else. That's where you can find us at. Thank you for watching. Voodoo Ranger, please bring us more beer. I'm out.
We need an airdrop.
I need an airdrop. I'm dry. I have nothing to show. Other than that, thank you for watching, and we're out.
Thank you. Keith, this is 3, 2, 1.